All right, so today on our VFR, I want to do the clutch. We've got a hydraulic clutch on this bike. And so today I want to put fluid in that thing and get it all bled, the air all bled out of it. I've got my little wrench already set up on my bleed valve down here. You can see that's where the bleed valve is down here. This is our clutch line coming in right there from our handlebars. So I've got my wrench for my bleed valve. I got the DOT4 brake fluid. I got a little bucket. I've got a hose to attach to my bleed valve. And this should be just like bleeding the brakes. I've never had a bike that had a hydraulic clutch, so this is very fancy. For me, get this stuff all hooked up down here. All right, so first step is opening this reservoir, putting some fluid in here. Actually, I need to tighten this guy down. It's pretty empty in there, but the stuff that is in there is pretty gross, man. Look at that. I'm gonna try and sponge all that out of there with some paper towel. Oh, that's like, oh fuck. All right, I need to take that off of there and flush it because that's like sludgy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, undo this, undo that, take this off, and we're gonna spray it out with some brake cleaner or whatever and let it dry, and then we will start adding brake fluid in there. So this guy first. That's really sludgy, dude. Holy crap. Alright, we gotta let this thing dry. Alright, so now I put some hydraulic fluid in here, and I am sort of bench bleeding this thing, so to speak, trying to get some fluid to move through there and sort of get some of this gunk stuff that just emerges out of the corners, you know. Trying to get some of that sort of flushed out, and then I can dump this and then we can start, hopefully. All right, I've got it flushed out pretty good. Stick it back on here and see if it will actually pump. I suspect it will, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Go ahead and fill this guy up. Give it a few pumps here. Anything happens at all. Like I don't even get air bubbles. Nothing. Let's go ahead and crack our valve down here. See if that helps us out. I'm getting absolutely nothing. Ooh, I'm starting to get some bubbles out of there. It's progress. Slow progress, but progress. All right, I'm starting to get more frequent bubbles out of here, and I'm starting to get a little bit of a feel, if I imagine it maybe, that there is some fluid being pushed through there just a little bit. We're at least getting some fluid down in there, I think. I'm not really pumping anything out of the reservoir yet, though. All right, so now I'm sort of at the point where if I just move this lever just a little bit, just at the first sort of portion of the stroke of that cylinder that's in there, I can really grab some bubbles out of there. I'm gonna add a little bit more fluid in here. All right, we're starting to get fluid out the bottom now. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this guy. And then we will continue our little marathon up here. Bubble wrangling. I'm starting to get much better feel on the lever here. Like it is giving me some actual resistance here. All right, we seem to be in really good shape up here. I'm gonna top it off, and then we're gonna go to the bottom. I don't know if anybody else is keyed into this, like, in terms of like social like faux pas or whatever, but this is called a master cylinder, and the one on the bottom is called a slave cylinder. And we're now going to move down to the slave cylinder and bleed that guy out, bleed any air out of there. All right, I'm going to crack this guy open down here, and I'm going to squeeze the lever. Then I'm going to close this guy, and then I'm going to release the lever. Cracking, squeezing, closing, releasing. That's my process, and I did get a little bit of fluid out of there, so that's good. I'm gonna do it until it shoots out like in a stream, man. I gotta keep my eye on that reservoir to make sure it does not go empty, and we do not suck air into that thing. I'm gonna pump this up a little bit, get some pressure built in there, and then we'll squeeze it, pump it up some more until we get some harder lever feel, and then squeeze it out, close it, release the lever, repeat. We're probably good here. I got great pedal, or I got great lever feel. And when I do pump fluid out, it is, oh, I do see some air bubbles coming out of there. Hold on. But yeah, I got good lever feel. When I do bleed stuff out, it is like a nice solid stream coming out of there. Or the lever itself like recovers much quicker after a bleed. Like it only takes like a couple pumps to get it back to like a hard feel. So I think we're pretty close here. I'm gonna keep at this a little bit more, see if it improves, because I'm still getting a little bit of air bubble out the top here. So I don't think we're quite done yet. All right, that took like one squeeze, on the second squeeze it was hard again, the lever, so that's a good sign. Ooh, that one was like the very next squeeze, it never lost pedal feel at all. That was pretty good. That's gotta be it right there. Oh yeah, man. I bleed it out, I release the lever, go to squeeze the lever again, and it's still nice hard feel. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. Yeah, and I'm not getting any air out of that top there at all. I'm getting nice squirts out the bottom here. So yeah, I think we should be good. Yeah, it's fascinating because I can like feel the spring pressure on the clutch, you know? But pretty cool. But yeah, my hand's getting a little tired. I think we're good. All right, then I'm gonna top this off, put my cap back on, put my rusty screws back on there. One of the reasons I might want to replace this master cylinder is just the location of it. This is as far rotated forward as I can get it. It runs into the clamp that holds our clip-ons on. This guy runs right into that, and so I can only rotate it to this point. And I'm not sure ergonomically if that's gonna be a problem with my little hands at some point. This seems to be way far out compared to the actual handlebar. I don't know, maybe that'll be fine, but if it starts to bother me or whatever, I will for sure swap this out, because there is another version basically that does not have the reservoir built in as one unit to this. The reservoir is separate out like that, and maybe that would make a difference and take up less handlebar space and which would allow it to rotate forward a little bit more. You can see on this one, this is the style I'm talking about, where it takes up very little bar space here. There's nothing poking out around here. It's very slim, and our reservoir attaches via a tube right here, and then it would sit up above it like that. So if I swapped to a different style master cylinder that was more like this, then I should be able to rotate this thing however I want. So that's just something I'm thinking about. But yeah, so that's it for today. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We've made a huge functional improvement today with this thing. So we are that much closer to being able to test ride this thing. So yeah, have a good weekend.